YouTube, preparing the live stream, the meeting. And it takes a while to connect from Zoom's server to YouTube server. And now I have everyone. Perfect. Okay. Welcome. And then I also thank Isa and Daniel for being here. There, I looked at your websites, your beginning websites, and my comments is that I want to make sure that everybody has a team description of your roles. Emphasize what is the problem you're solving, who is your audience. For instance, if you're doing mental health, it may be that you're focusing in on the university students or the university communities, may be your audience. Another thing that I want is I want this to be real, authentic. So sometimes the templates in Wix and other template providers provide testimonials. You have now 0 customers, so you have 0 testimonials. You may be able, in terms of partnerships, it'll be potential partnerships that you have in order to think about it as being revenue based. Right now, some of you just put in fees like therapy for $80 or something like that. Right now, I'd like you to have free consultations and let people have trust in you. Let's get a following using your services. And once we see there's a following using the services, then we can start charging. Okay. If you haven't submitted your URL, see me after class and we'll discuss that as well. We have assignments for today, for next week, and then we'll have our additional assignments for your final project. But first, I want to make sure that everybody go back to your projects and refine what you are doing there. Everyone will also be in charge of your social media, so you can start establishing your social media as well. And you will be giving roles in your projects to certain people in your group. I don't need to micromanage that. Okay, so my goal today is to talk about our assignment. You remember we talked about intelligent AI voice agents. Remember that, Marco?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so what I want is to give an assignment for each of you to get some familiarity with the voice agents and actually try it out. Get some phone numbers, attach some scripts with it, and don't be afraid, Marco. That's what's exciting here, is you can get the voice agent can respond, and then you can basically tell how you want the voice agent to act and give some information based on your project. So that's going to be neat. So we're going to be doing that as an assignment of voice, and we'll be doing an additional readings in artificial intelligence. And I have invited a guest speaker today who is a doctor in electrical engineering and computer engineering, and she works with Intel on their initiatives in AI. So we'll have a conversation with her and seeing where AI is going. So if you have any questions, you can put that in the chat. Otherwise, any personal questions, you can see me at the end, and you have Isa and Daniel if there's something that you need to your TAs. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to share my screen. And let me see if you can see it. You see my screen here? Claire, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. You know what perfect is? This is perfect. So I have here, let's start with what's due, right? Claire, we always want to talk about what's due. So we had for today, your assignment was that getting the Wix, you all got the code. You had the chapter readings of artificial intelligence, and with the adaptive assignments and the quizzes. And I also wanted you to look at the websites from AWS on cloud computing and Azure's Microsoft on cloud computing. And it goes in conjunction with your readings on cloud computing. And for next week, for Wednesday, I have an assignment on phone voice AI agent assignment. The readings for information systems within the organization. Really what we're talking about is enterprise resource planning and for the chapter. And these are some additional readings that I want you to do for AI. One is based on machine learning. What's the difference between machine learning and AI? What are the subfields of AI? How it's applied to business applications? And generative AI, the benefits, the use cases, and the concerns of generative AI. So a lot of these questions here, we'll be doing a review for the second exam, but you can see that there'll definitely be some questions about those as well. So let's go to the audit assignment. And in the audit assignment here, this is an instructional video on it. Let me open it in a new tab. This is your assignment for your phone voice AI agent assignment. There's a number of platforms that you can do a phone voice AI agent. The difference in this case, Kylie, between a phone voice AI agent and you have a phone number, right, Kylie? If I call you on your phone, I can call you, I can text you, right? What's the difference on a phone voice AI agent is what? That we can then put a language model into that phone, attached to that phone number. You cannot just go to T-Mobile and ask for a phone number for your voice AI agent. You can't take now the way it's working, you cannot take just your regular number and attach also a voice AI agent. This needs to be that they're programmable, and there's certain platforms where they either sell you a number, and what I like about this platform is they provide free numbers. As long as you're using it and it's limited in time and space, of how many times you call it, or you do inbound call-ins or outbound call-ins, it will work. So one of the things I want you to do is guide you through this phone voice AI agent and think about it for your project. Think about it for your company. You've all come up with your company name. I want each of you, to attach some phone numbers to it. And so this is going to be an individual assignment. And after you have it done as an individual assignment, you'll take in your group the best phone number and then attach it to your website. You can attach it where somebody can dial directly. They can pick up a phone, just like we did with 1-800-CHAT-GPT, which is also, I'm not going to get a human there. I'm going to get the language model, the large language model from what? From ChatGPT. I'll probably get a lower grade, right? And it will give me limited time. And they have decided that I could only have limited time, the same as you have, but you can show the process. One of the things that you can do, so what I want you to do is create a tutorial using Zoom of how you create a phone voice AI agent. So also what I was talking to you before is if I think about 1-800-CHAT-GPT, that's a vanity phone number. I have words that are easy to remember, right, Kylie? 1-800-CHAT-GPT. It's also what the company that we know the product name, and I can do it. In this case, the problem with 800 numbers is it will cost us. Anytime somebody's calling us on an 800 number, we as a company have to pay for it if somebody's calling into us. What I want to do is use, for instance, a phone number that could possibly spell something. So what I'm going to have you do is see if you can find phone numbers that spell words. So try to not use ones and zeros. Why should you not use ones and zeros, Marco, if you're going to look for a phone number? What's wrong with a one and a zero?
A lot of
Usually.
the phone numbers are already like 1-800 and things like that with a bunch of ones and zeros, so it's probably pretty hard to get those numbers.
No, but it's look at your keypad. Get your phone, right? And look at your keypad.
Oh, there's no letters to it.
Exactly. Oh, I love it, Marco, right? When we say oh. There's no letter attached to a one. Is there a letter attached to a zero? No. Really, when the one is, that's just showing it's from the United States, right? It's really 001 that's the country code of the United States. So the idea, sometimes zero, maybe that you can think about it as zero, but it's the same thing that you're having. So these are one of the things. So I want you to go to the dashboard of VAPI AI. The best idea is to use Google Chrome and sign up, not with your school account, sign up with your Google account, your Google account. You create an account, and then you can start recording in Zoom. When you start recording in Zoom, then, and of course, without a password, I don't have to say it, then you can be starting screen share, and then you can use this as a tutorial showing someone else, and this may be even a service, Marco, that you can provide, right, to possibly the customers. Like Stephen, if you wanted to, for those tutors, Stephen, you could say, hey, if you're doing tutor services, we can get you a phone number where you don't have to listen to every schmo calling you and spamming you. Give you a phone number that you can have them basically like fetter out those that are spamming, or give some information all the time. Or they may want to say, oh, what are your rates? Do you prepare me for SATs? Do you prepare me for college calculus or something? So this is an idea to think about it. And then what I want you to do is try to get a phone number. Now you only can have 10 tries. So in this case, I'm saying try to get creating a phone number and try area codes that do not create ones or zeros. And now, right, Marco, you know why you don't want to do ones and zeros. And here, if you look at the keypad, right, you can see, for instance, I got one last semester, say USA Manuel, like monitoring wellness. So I know USA here, 872 is available. So it may be, since this is provided in the United States anyways, it may be trying this. Why I like this is I don't like 1-800 numbers. Why don't I like that, Claire? Is because then we would have to pay for it. This VAPI service gives us local numbers anywhere in the United States, and they take blocks of numbers that they allow us to do it. So here we can have then lists of area codes. You can see here, this probably doesn't have it, is available, is run, right? Everybody knows 786, right? It also spells it, or USA. I know this is available for today, is 872. So here, just so you know, here, you can try out to see what they have available in VAPI. Is these are the area codes, and see if it basically may be good for you in terms of figuring it out. Once you check the phone numbers, there's also websites that you can see. I put in a number, and sometimes you want to even do it for your own phone number and say, hey, does it spell something? You know, I had somebody that they put it in and they said, oh, it says, run law guys. So a law firm wanted to buy their phone number. It was their regular number. So you can even try it out for regular numbers along with intelligent IDs. Once you try that out, then you want to create an assistant. And your assistant is just like you're built on the left part. You create an assistant, you give it a unique name. There's a number, if I even go to, there's a number of templates that they have available to you. In our example, when we had those guys come in, they started with a blank template. What I'd say to you is, just like the Wix, I say go start with a template. You start with the template that VAPI already has. Start with the template that you're aware of. And in this template, you can use like lead qualification specialist. You could do customer support. Later on, you can choose some. You can even do appointments. Like if you wanted to do appointments where people would see you, it'll even do appointments for you. Why do you have to hire somebody to do the appointments? You set up the calendar when you're available. And then in your first message, make sure that you can even insert, you can even keep what you have there. You can change that first message and start from the beginning, or you can just even say hello. You can even say, I'm a virtual agent. My name is, Sam, and I represent Tutors R Us or something like that. Then you can leave the system prompt. You can change it if you want to. You can write your own custom prompt. But right now, I'm just making sure when you do it for your project, that person that's responsible for your VAPI number, there'll be somebody there. Then you can get into more detail of your prompts. If you'd like to see how you train those bots here, these intelligent agents, you can play around with this. And you have a number of learning large language models you can choose. They charge you for how much. They give you credits, so we want to minimize the credits. So for right now, we're not looking for something as sophisticated, so we're recommending you try a GPT 4.1 mini, the temperature 0.2, and make sure you select publish. After you select publish, this Daniel added using Gemini. I'd say to you, get this up and running. I would skip this. But if you'd like more challenges, you could try the one time and then just go back and try the optional Flash Gemini 2.5 Flash, and then you could go and get your own API key. But right now, I want to just keep it simple. So this is for you, those of you that want to have more of a challenge. But for some of you, what I'd like you to do is let's just get the job done. And then test for functionality. Go back under the build on your left screen. You need to select your assistant. And this is really important. You need to attach the phone number to your assistant. They have to be matched. So the assistant I have, and you can change in terms of I want a woman's voice, I want a male's voice. There's many that you can already have from different vendors. And make sure when you try and call the number from your phone, you also can call from your, I'll show you, you can also call from your application of VAPI. But it's good to try on your own phone, is put your call on speaker so we can hear it, and then you can hear how it responds. And then wrap up, and this is how you submit it so everybody can think about it. This is one folder that you have for your group. So in this case, in your group folder, there should be one that says phone voice AI agent assignment. So those of you that want to, right now you could even put that in one folder. It's not going to be a folder for everyone. And in this case here, you can see here the phone voice AI, just like we did before, like the other assignments, phone voice AI agent assignment, your Zoom cloud recording link, your AI summary, your quick recap, which is nice. You don't have to write it, right? But this is reflection issues and improvements. This is what you want to think about. Hey, how could you use it? Could I even use it as a service? Notice those guys, how much I forgot they were making 250K, not bad for being anywhere in the world, and they were giving services for other companies to make voice agents. You could even, those of you that are interested, even for wealth managers, for everyone, they say, hey, I don't want to have a lot of calls, just spam calls. You could just give a number there and have people leave messages or say, let me get in touch with someone. Later on, you can even, with databases and with flows, you can even pass it on to certain people in your company. So here he put in the phone numbers he tried. You can just try out 5. Daniel, you know, he's super, super ambitious. He tried out 10, and then you've finished your assignment. So if I look at VAPI, right, if I go to vapi.ai, this is the platform, voice AI agents. And they're saying for developers, you can make it really sophisticated. But what I'm saying is this is great for just even trying it out. So you can say here, the enterprise, we know what it is, the resources, right, that they have. Here's their docs. And you can even see in their docs, this is nice, is in their docs, it's similar to what they have is, this is nice even for review of what is VAP, because there'll be some open-ended questions like this for the next exam, but it will be VAP is the developer platform for building voice AI agents. And here you can say, allow you to have natural conversations, make and receive phone calls. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to receive phone calls. But you could, rather than for spam, for your customers, you could even make calls out and integrate with your existing systems and APIs. Everybody knows what an API is. Handle complex. And it does what? Speech to text. What I like about this, different than the regular bots, is this is conversational. So it'll be conversational, speech to text, large language model, processes the conversation and generates intelligent responses, text to speech, converts your agent's responses back to natural speech. And there's 2 ways to build voice agents for this platform. One is called assistants. That's what we're using. Assistants are pre-made using a single prompt plus tool structured output. Perfect for customer support, lead qualifications, booking, and routing. And some of you may try out different ones. Once you get into it, you say, hey, maybe we'll have an agent for booking, and then maybe we'll have a number for customer support. If you want to book, call this number. If you want to customer support, call this number. Fantastic. The squads, we're not going to go into it, but just so you know, if you wanted to go further, you could review this, is you can then orchestrate multiple assistants. It's almost like multiple agents that can do medical triage and scheduling, e-commerce orders, returns, VIP, property management routing, when you want to route something to another one. This is more complicated, but it does work. And then the key capabilities, real-time conversations, phone integration, web integration. So we're not only calling from the phone, and the beauty is they don't even have to have a smartphone, that they can call any phone, but also embedded into your web. And we're going to be embedding it into our project on the web. Tool integration, you can have databases. There's a number of databases that connect, multi-assistants, phone calls. This is what we're going to do for your assignment for next week. You're going to do phone calls. For your assignment for the project, you're going to be doing phone calls plus web integration. So they can just tap on something in the web, or they can make phone calls. This is developer tools. And then you can see anything with built-in customer support, sales lead, appointment scheduling. And then here you need some more programming, but you could do it. It is, possible with this. And then you can see here, if you wanted to, they have guides to do it. So the phone calls, these are creating your first one. Notice, look at this. This looks like what they're doing too, of making it, they're using a screen sharing recorder and they're doing the exact same thing. So even if you wanted to see how they were doing it, creating a new assistant, configuring your assistant, and notice here the first message and the system prompts here. Notice the first message. Hi there, this is Alex from Tech Solutions. How can I help you today? You'll put in yours. In the pre-configured, you already have something. You'll just change it. You'll just edit it here. The system prompts, notice you tell them just like in the ChatGPT. You can even go to ChatGPT and ask it how I can do that. Sound friendly, patient, use conversational tone, speak with confidence, but remain humble. We could all use that, right? And then it could teach me how to speak. Demonstrate genuine concern for customer issues. Wow, set up a phone number, how to create the phone number. Notice that they're going through it. Make your first calls. You want to check that out. So if I have those first calls in my VAPI, when I have open my dashboard, you can have you'll get a dashboard based on what you have already. I just use the number of Gmail accounts. So if you want to go past this, create another. Notice here, nothing was done. I was just trying it out before. I put it on another. I'm trying to do computer vision. So I'm now have another Gmail called Mob Seeing AI. And when you're having the Mob Seeing AI here, you can then look at your phone numbers, and then basically you can set up your phone numbers. You see here, I already got 872-777-9460, and then you can put it in and see what that spells out. But in this case, you could see that you set this up with the inbound call, and this is crucial. Everybody see this where it says then assistant in the inbound. You create this with the assistant, and then you can attach. Then I want to attach Sam to that, right? To make sure that I set that up. And in this case, I'm not going to use a call. And then you could then make sure that you save your work. And then you could create that number. So if I go to the overview, you could see that I was having that. I have building my assistants, and you can see I can create a new assistant. And here's my blank template if I wanted to start from scratch. What I'm telling you is start from like a customer support specialist. You can see either, or you could use a lead qualification specialist, appointment scheduler, an info collector, care coordinator, scheduling medical appointments, feedback as well. Question. Comments. So what do you think, Austin? Yes, no? Austin, do you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. What was the question?
My question is, what did you think of that?
Yeah, I agree.
You agree on what?
Um,
What do you agree on?
the Wix.
Okay. Did you see what I just demonstrated?
Um, No, I didn't.
Where were you?
Um,
Were you not here looking?
no, I was.
What did I demonstrate just now?
I was in another tab, but I was listening.
Oh, you're another tab.
Yeah, sorry.
So I spend it. So Lauren, what did I demonstrate? Lauren, are you there?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
hi.
Hi. What did I just demonstrate?
You were demonstrating us the features of Wix.
Wix? Okay. Was that Wix, Marco? That I just demonstrated?
You were setting up the AI phone number and
Right, and that's
how the
called
number, how
VAPI,
the phone
right?
number, yeah, VAPI.
Right, and VAPI, what does it stand for? It stands for V for voice, right? And the application program interface. So we have the voice application interface. So what do we have next week? Did you look at what's due for next week, Austin?
Yeah, it's part 3 of the project.
Okay, part 3 of the project for next week?
Oh no, it's assignment 5. I just looked.
Yeah, and what is that assignment 5?
The using VAPI for the phone voice AI agent.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. All right. So Daniel, I don't see, looks like we'll continue then, Daniel, okay?
Yeah,
see,
my user just logged out and logged in. I don't know what.
right, I see yeah, I have 2 versions of you, Daniel, right? Okay, so let me share again. And so Austin, when I share, are you on the wrong tab? What do you see when I share?
No, I see it now. I see it now.
Okay, so this is, if I look at this, choosing a template, this is basically if I go into what? VAPI.ai, this is the agent that you need to know how to present. I have to go through all those steps which we included. And what I included as well, if you think about it, how much is this going to cost us? For our first part. Lauren, how much is this going to cost us to
For
set
the
this up for the next assignment?
shouldn't it be free?
Exactly. Right? So you'll be able, but notice it's taking the times here. You see this on in terms of my dashboard of where how many calls have been made, and then the average cost. So you basically, you see down below here, it says it's 9.93 credits. Do you see that? In the lower part, you can buy credits, but for our assignment, we're not going to be doing the credits. You got that, Lauren? So this should not cost us anything, and we don't need any special code. We'll just go through those and we'll just set up our phone numbers for our next assignment. Okay? Lauren, does that make sense? So let me share now my screen.
Apparently, AWS and Azure are both down now.
I know I got this from my email, right? From Microsoft, that Microsoft is down,
Yeah, and it runs on Azure.
right? Microsoft Office is down. I think I got that from, where did I get that? In here, right here. Did you get this, Daniel? Did students
I
get
did. I thought it was
Yeah.
just the 365, but it seems like it's more than that.
Yeah. And you remember we were talking about the cloud, Daniel?
Yeah.
And the difference of on-premise and the cloud? It used to be our university used to host on-premise. Microsoft, it hosted the emails. So Microsoft is currently experiencing worldwide performance issues with Microsoft 365, including issues with logging in services like Outlook. During this time, you experience intermittent connectivity issues with M365 services.
Yeah, I'm having issues even logging into Blackboard right now.
Yeah, so it may be even that's the issue with
The authenticated.
yeah, but it also may be the issue with Mustafa, you know, of her getting
That would explain it.
you know, getting issues, there that she may not have been able to get in. So it's interesting. So so you had problems even getting into Zoom?
Zoom, I'm
Yeah.
fine because I'm already in Blackboard on one tab, but I can't like log in again. It's weird.
Yeah. So there's so many, and whose servers are down, right?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Okay, we'll see where we are. So everybody clear here? Does this say in this case, if I go to what's due then, and that link worked, Daniel? Let me just make sure.
Yeah, that one works.
Okay, let's just see. Okay, so this is, yeah, so this works. I can see it. So this is from Daniel had created then a Zoom with that for our assignment. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have this part for our assignment on our Zoom. And then if I go back to what's due, we have the assignments for next Wednesday of what's due, just so you can see it. Let me open this in a new tab. We have machine learning, and is a branch of artificial intelligence based on the idea that it can learn from data, identify patterns, and make decisions with minimal human intervention. So machine learning, the idea we need to think about is how machine learning is different from traditional learning. So if I think about machine learning, how is that different from just using traditional computing like Excel? What do you think, Bobby? What is machine learning going to do? And the key here is learning from traditional computing. What do you think, Bobby?
Learning different techniques is
What happens when you learn? What is it every time? If I ask you in Excel, I have a formula in Excel. Have you ever used Excel, Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So if you have a formula in Excel, Bobby, and we keep on using that formula with the same numbers, will I get the same results each time?
yeah.
Yeah. In machine learning, if there's a mistake, what do I expect will happen in machine learning?
Would it adapt and like fix the mistake?
Exactly. I would want it to correct itself and keep on getting better. And where did they use machine learning many years ago even? not even just in the past since ChatGPT came out, but machine learning, where did they use it quite often is in credit card information. Anybody here ever get a call from a credit card company that there was some problem with a transaction? Raise your hand if you or anyone in your family ever got a call from a credit card company about a transaction. Lily, did you get one? Austin, you got one? What happened, Austin? Did you get it or somebody in your family?
The other day I was trying to buy something and it said decline, and I got a text message from Chase and I had to like reply with yes.
And was there anything unusual when you bought that, you think?
It was just like an expensive thing, I guess, and they just wanted to make sure that it was actually me.
Right. And what about you, Lily?
We've gotten like fraudulent like text messages before from people trying to use our cards and also like its own shit.
Okay.
We've tried to buy
Anyone else?
things.
So somebody was trying to use it. Anyone else? I got one where I was looking at my statements, and instead of dollars, it said RU. Anybody know what RU is? What kind of currency RU is?
Is it rubles?
Rubles. You think I'd never buy anything in rubles? You know me a little bit, Austin. You think so?
No.
No way would I buy anything in rubles, right? I haven't been to Russia, and I don't, in my near plans, I don't plan to go there. But they basically, it was alerted that it was in RU, and what did they do? My card, they just cut down. Or there was once that they called and they texted that it was someone, that it was in Cleveland, Ohio at a dollar store. So what they had my number, my credit card number, they asked it in a dollar store in Cleveland. You would think, Austin, they would go and get a Ferrari or something rather than in the dollar store. Why'd they go in the dollar store? Just to see if it worked, my card, right? Where do they usually go with the credit card? Is they usually go into a gas station if they actually got, somebody stole your wallet or something or you stole an actual physical card, they would go to a gas station, because why? They were in a car and they just could go down US 1 and if it was declined. So what happens? So think about all those scenarios, right? The banks were the first ones to use machine learning. Why? When your card, then Austin, let's say somebody got your card, right? Your card number, and made purchases, let's say for $10,000 or $5,000. Are you responsible for that, Austin?
No.
Who's responsible?
The bank.
The bank. So if the bank is responsible, best believe that the bank wants to start using technology to help it. So what does the bank do? The bank does what we now call machine learning, where we train basically, we have a hypothesis, and my hypothesis is I want basically my machine learning program to be able to differentiate between what? Good transactions versus bad transactions. Proper transaction versus what, Lily? Fraudulent transactions. So one of the things it's going to learn is basic, just like you, Austin, it's going to try to look at your pattern of how you basically use your card. And if it's any way different, then it should do an alert. And what do they want to do? They want to stop that card from being used fraudulently. Everybody with me? So how do they train it? They train it by, do you think the bank has millions and millions of transactions? Of course they do. Do they have millions of transactions that are good transactions? Yes. What else do they have? They have many transactions that they know that are what? Fraudulent transactions. And what they do is they train then the computer program, machine learning, to differentiate between, look at the patterns here, of good transactions. Let's say of Marco. Marco, these are your good transactions. And then they have another group of these are fraudulent transactions. Find the patterns of what's different. It's the same thing we use in machine learning. If I'm going to look at x-rays, find those patterns of this is going to be a good x-ray, this is going to be non-malignant, this is going to be malignant. Instead, we're looking at these are transactions that are good, these are transactions that are faulty, are fraudulent. I want you to pick it out. Then what they do is, since I know what the answers are, right? We know the data, we have the answers. Then we give basically the programs to see how they run, where they make their mistakes. You think they're going to make mistakes, Bobby? Of course they are, right? The program's not going to be 100%. And then we try to keep on telling it, this was a transaction that was fraudulent and you said it was good. This was a transaction that was good and you said that was fraudulent. And we bring it back, and what do we expect, Bobby, it to do? Keep on improving, and we as humans are supervising the learning. That's what we call supervised learning. Do you understand that, Layla? So we have supervised learning where I, as humans, we know our data. We already know our data, and we divide up our data between, let's say, good, accurate transactions and fraudulent transactions. And then we break it down and we basically know the results, and we say, okay, now we'll take a subset of that machine learning program and you find then the transactions. And once it finds, it makes those false positives or false negatives, then we bring it back and we change it. And each one, then we contribute to the model to improve it each time. So you see, what they call machine learning is we expect it to get better each time, just like humans, right? That once you get a mistake, what does your mother always tell you? Is it's okay to make mistakes, but don't keep on making the same mistake over and over again. And that's what we're looking about AI too, is it's hallucinating. We want it to start basically not hallucinating. We want to redirect it. So it's the same thing in machine learning. And machine learning works very well when we, in the beginning, do it supervised. And later on, guess what? If it's supervised learning, what else must be, Filippo? There must be unsupervised learning. And that is, me and you don't have to babysit it all the time. So when we give it, it should be unsupervised, but we give it the hypothesis, find me patterns of what it is. And then it keeps on doing it each time. Sometimes it comes up. When I was out of town, my husband had the card and he went and he bought himself an ice cream cone and all these things, weird stuff, small little amounts. And then it got flagged because it was not even normal. So it wasn't even the 10,000 expensive item, Austin. It was like $5.65 that we usually don't use the card on. So it's just the same thing. Why do they call for the small amounts? Because sometimes what they want to do is check to see if that card has been stopped or not. So it's the same kind of thing. Anything outside the ordinary. That's how we proceed to do it. That's what they call machine learning, that it will improve. So if I asked you a question, Bobby, what's the difference between traditional computing, where I have it in Excel? Excel isn't basically saying, hey, Bobby, you put in the wrong formula. Later on, it probably will when you're saying, hey, I want to do a Black-Scholes model and I want to do some sophisticated portfolio analysis, right? That it will, what we want is saying, this is the best models to use. But if at this point, when you put in that formula, it's going to keep on giving you the same results and not improving and not learning. And that's why everyone is excited about that machine learning, that it will get better. And it's the same thing in healthcare, that in healthcare, when they start, the radiologist is reading the x-rays. What is the radiology? How are they going to train radiology programs with machine learning. They know these scans for this type of, let's say, cancer, these are non-malignant scans, and this for this type of cancer is malignant. We as the researchers, as the physicians know that, we as the radiologists know that, we divide it up, and then what we want to do is have the machine find those patterns. And later on, what we want to do, Brandon, is we want it even to find things that a normal human being with their eyesight radiologist won't be able to see. That it'll pinpoint and say, hey, this looks suspicious. And then later on, once they keep on testing it and the models get better, then it will improve. That's why right now it's going in tandem. Sometimes what they're doing now is if people are going to scans, they can get the human radiologist to see it, and then they can also have the machine learning of the program see it, and then make comparisons. And once it gets better, then they can do it together as a team. And maybe what it will do in the beginning for some radiologists, what they do is the machine reads it first and then highlights, these are suspicious scans. Radiologists come look at this. And then they were able to see the same thing with, I didn't see a problem with it. This is, I didn't see a problem. And after it said it, it will scan again and say, hey, have another radiologist look at this. This looks suspicious. Oh, yes, you're right. Or you're wrong. Let's keep on improving it. What's the disadvantage? Now, even for a number of different ways for colonoscopies, they found out that physicians being trained with this end up not knowing as much as physicians not trained with it because they're relying on the machine. Everybody see that? So you rely on the machine, Jack, and then you don't develop your own skills. It's almost like now what I'm concerned about in writing. We're all relying on ChatGPT and other generative AIs to write for us, that we're not able to write well on our own because it's good enough. But sometimes you need to read, and that's what I want you to do for your projects, is make sure once even the AI develops it or your ChatGPT develops it, that you read it again once and for all. Questions? So what I'd like to do is for Monday is we'll go over your projects and I'll make comments on your projects already. So weekly, I will make comments on your projects. And then Wednesday, we will have the phone intelligent VAPI due. And then we will give another assignment to for adding additional parts to your project. So I'm going to end class a bit early so I can meet with groups that need my feedback on where they are with the projects. So Isa, I can,
Yeah, I'm trying, it just isn't working.
yeah, let me just see if I can share. Let me just see. We'll see here. Let me go to attendance. You guys see my screen? Yes, no? Daniel, you see it?
It's there.
Okay, perfect. So in this case, check-in, start check-in, and 8582. You want to put that in the chat, Daniel?
Yep.
8582 in the chat. And I'll stop sharing. And we have it in the chat. Shut down.